Did you know you can eat healthy without giving up flavor or fun? I didn't know that until I discovered Washington Red Raspberries. They're a clean, simple, and seriously delicious way to add more nutrition to your day. American grown by American farmers, picked at peak ripeness, and frozen within hours to lock in nutrients like fiber, antioxidants, and vitamin C. Washington Red Raspberries have no added sugar, just fruit, as nature intended. I love eating a handful as a snack throughout my day, and if I'm feeling fancy, I'll swirl some into yogurt or top off a salad. They're such a great summer treat. I won't gatekeep this anymore. Frozen Washington Red Raspberries are one of the best kept secrets in the freezer aisle, and make sure to look for Product of the US on the bag. Want to discover new ways to use American frozen red raspberries and get more details on where you can grab a bag of these delicious berries? Go to redraz.org. That's redrazz.org. You'll find recipes, health tips, retail locations, and everything you need to make frozen Washington red raspberries a regular part of your routine. You know how we've been talking about icks and red flags? Well, I think the biggest red flag is my old wireless bill. I used to find all kinds of charges on my novel-length bill, and that's why I made the switch to Mint Mobile. With Mint, you can get the coverage and speed you're used to, but for way less money. And for a limited time, Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for $15 a month. Get high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. I made the switch to Mint, and you should too. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get the new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/dateable. That's mintmobile.com/dateable. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Hi, I'm Yue Xu.
And I'm Julie Kraftchick.
We're active daters turned dating insiders.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to Dateable. Hello, Dateables. Welcome to Brunch Talk, where we answer your burning dating questions because they are on fire.
They are always on fire. You know, I feel like the one today is a really good one that we actually see over and over again in a different format. We were just talking about how this might be one of our top questions that we get, maybe written slightly different each time.
Yep. And we've both experienced this as well when we were in those early dating days and trying to scratch our heads, like trying to understand someone, right? And the question is, what do you do when the person you're dating stops being consistent?
And for more context, I was talking daily to this guy and he stopped being so consistent. I want to reach out again, but not sure how to proceed. What should I do?
Okay. It feels like there's just like this formula that people follow in early dating. It's like, come in hot with the messages and the back and forths and maybe even like meeting up. And then just when you have the other person hooked, you drop off all communication and you like aren't as responsive and you don't ask them out again. It feels like a formula and it feels like people are doing it intentionally. Now looking back, I don't think it's people doing it intentionally. What you recognize as consistency may not be what the other person thinks as consistency. It might just be their way of dating and that they think that's what they're supposed to do. So I think first, when you recognize someone's consistent, when you see that consistent behavior, is to make them aware of it and appreciate them for it. Because sometimes they have no idea they're doing it right.
Oh, this brings me back. This is, I think, one of the worst feelings, though, when everything is going really well. You're getting that morning text from them every day, or you're hearing from them daily. They're setting up the plans on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And then it just halts. And you're like, did I do something wrong? Did they meet someone else?
Right.
All the questions. I think there's a couple things at play here. One, it's hard to maybe keep up the behavior forever, like prolong this type of behavior. It's not always sustainable. I'm going to say this as a hetero dater. I think a lot of hetero men, they think there's things they have to do in order to get the girl.
Yes.
And one of them being consistent in their messaging. They may never text their friends. Like, or do it like once a week. But for dating, they're like, oh, I know I need a text every day. I need to keep it up. And then once they got you or they feel like things are in a better place, they kind of let things go a little, let down the guard.
Default behavior.
Yeah. And then from the woman's perspective, they're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This person is now not interested. Like there's so many things. And of course, it could be that they've lost interest. I don't want to say that's not an option, but it also doesn't have to mean that either.
Right. I think I've told a few people I've dated that I really appreciate a daily text. And many of them were shocked.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You like that? Is that too much? I guess they just never got that sort of feedback before. And I think it's good to give that feedback up front so it feeds into that behavior. They're more motivated to do that. But I think in dating, there's like this weird thing that happens where we are totally different when we're dating versus when we're in a relationship or feel committed. It's like, oh, okay, I've done the upfront work. Now I'm just going to resume regular scheduled programming.
100%. I remember even like with my partner, he was so proactive at the beginning. And not that he's not now, I don't want to say that, but it's definitely not to the level that it once was at the beginning.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, I knew I had to do that. And I'm like, you still have to. But yes, it's like that's the mentality of this is how you date. And we've talked about this before. Dating is very unnatural. And a lot of us are putting our best foot forward. And that's a good thing in many regards. But the reality is the real self does come out. And maybe what they were doing isn't actually the real self. It's the date self.
Exactly. So when you do see that consistency drop off, I think it's important to make them aware of it, not in a blaming kind of way, but to say, I feel like there's just a shift in our communication. Felt like before there was this going on and now this is going on. What are your thoughts on that? Have you also observed the same changes?
I think you could even ask just up front, like a question like, hey, like, haven't heard from you as much lately, like all good, but like, is there something going on in life? Like not assume that it's because of you and dating, but maybe they're just busy at work or there's something taking their time away. And I think not that that's an excuse that they shouldn't be giving you time, but at least you'll understand where they're at a little more. And it's not always about us, even though we think it is.
What you want to stay away from is what I used to do. The cool girl syndrome kicks in and you go, oh, I don't want to come off needy. I don't want them to know that I want to hear from them all the time. So you know what? I'll take my sweet time getting back to them now. I will also drop off my communication and plan my weekends and go on trips. You know, I'm going to be super busy now too. And then it becomes the Cold War because then you're like, nobody's talking to each other. And then your relationship just fades because both people are like, that's it.
That is too real. I think though, on the other side though, this lack of consistency, like, yes, it could be a good sign in the sense that people are getting more comfortable or maybe there's an actual reason. But I don't want to discount that like there also could be the true colors coming out. This isn't a good match either.
Yes.
So let's go into that more. But before we do, let's take a minute to hear from our sponsors. With summer in full swing, it's time for a closet refresh. But I'm trying not to waste money on pieces I'll only wear for just one season. That's where Quince comes in. Their clothes are timeless, feel luxurious, look elevated, and the quality is way beyond what you'd expect for the price. Think 100% European linen tops starting at $30, washable silk dresses and skirts, and soft cotton sweaters. And the best part, everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands because Quince works directly with top artisans and cuts out the middleman. I've been on a bit of a shopping spree with Quince lately. I got some wide-leg jeans that are perfect for evenings that will take me well into fall, and European linen pants that are so lightweight and perfect for that summer warm weather. So give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince. Go to quince.com/dateable for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dateable to get free shipping and 365-day returns. quince.com/dateable. Have you heard the stat that we're eating a credit card worth of plastic a week? That's why I made the switch to Blue Land across all cleaning products around my house. Blue Land's products meet the highest standard of clean. They're effective yet gentle on my family and planet. Blue Land was also named an EPA Safer Choice Partner of the Year. From cleaning sprays and toilet bowl cleaners to dishwasher and laundry detergent tablets, Blue Land's formulas are 100% microplastic free, made with certified clean ingredients, free from chlorine, bleach, and harsh chemicals that are safe to use around my family. I love not having to choose between the safe option and what actually gets the house clean. And that is why Blue Land is trusted in over 1 million homes, including mine. Obsessed with the laundry tablets because they make laundry a breeze and lift even the toughest stains. Blue Land has a special offer for listeners. Right now, get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/dateable. You won't want to miss this. blueland.com/dateable for 15% off. On the flip side, again, I don't want to assume ill intent, but I also want to make sure that this person is not trying to like bark up a tree that's not worth it.
Mhm.
Like at this end of the day, people do make time for what they want to make time for. Like I remember I've shared this story before I met my partner. I met this guy that was like texting me every day, so consistent, and then it just dropped, and then suddenly
Mhm.
had no time to meet anymore and couldn't even find an hour in his schedule.
Mhm.
And like, yeah, maybe it was just a bad patch and it had nothing to do with me. I don't know. I'll never really know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was like, this isn't how I want to feel in a relationship. I want to be with someone that prioritizes me. So it was ammunition for me to end it. And then I met my current partner, who I've never questioned this with ever, has been consistent from day one. So while I'm all for giving people the benefit of the doubt and understanding what's happening, also know that like sometimes people do lay it on thick and it's not always like ill intent. Like maybe they just get ahead of themselves too and realize like, ooh, do I want a full blown relationship? I don't know. Or who even knows? They could be talking to many other people too, and things could progress with someone else. Like there's so many reasons that someone could drop off the face of the universe or not be as consistent or start breadcrumbing.
And that's when people spiral. That's when I used to spiral is I think about, oh, how many other people have they been seeing? Or was it something I did? Or they're just no longer interested in me without just asking the question. I drove myself crazy. I struggled and put myself in misery for no reason. And looking back, I wish I would have just, one, asked for the consistency, and then two, asked the real hard questions. So remember the guy, the Tahoe guy. He didn't live in Tahoe, but I call him the Tahoe guy because
I know who this is. I will always
we know the Tahoe
this.
guy. We had this like really hot and heavy start of our little like whatever it was dating
fling. Yeah.
Fling. It was a fling in hindsight. To me, it was like the start of something beautiful.
Yeah.
And we had this wonderful week and it was like really consistent communication. We talked about the future together. We talked about possibly moving somewhere together. I mean, it was like we were discussing real shit. And I went on a trip to Europe and I remember thinking like, oh, I don't want to come off needy. So I just said, I really enjoyed our time together. Can't wait to reconnect when I get back. So of course, I wish I said, can we keep talking consistently while I'm on this trip? But I was like, no, I'm going to keep it cool. It's fine. And I come back from my trip and he just completely ghosted me. Soon to find out on Facebook, he had met this girl the day after I went on this trip who is like the love of his life. They seem like so perfect for each other. I wish I had known that. I had all these stories in my head. I was like, was this something I did or said? Like the things that we struggle with. It could have been so much easier if I just asked for that consistency while I was on this trip and then asked the hard question.
Yeah. And I think it's like you can't beat yourself up too, because sometimes that could have just happened anyways. Even if you were
right.
physically in the same city, like at the end of the day, things work out the way they're supposed to.
Yes.
I firmly believe that. In like my story, yes, who knows what was going on with this person, but like I left and found someone else and same with you. So it's like, it all works out. And I think that's a piece of it. But yeah, like we don't always know the full picture of what's happening. And sometimes there may be meaning behind it that's not what we want to hear, or it just might be that they're not the right fit. And like at the end of the day, we still need to keep ourselves at the forefront of what is it that I want? And is this person able to give it to me?
Yeah,
And can I give to them?
exactly. So how does that conversation go? How does that conversation go that you are experiencing inconsistency and you want more consistency? What are you asking for? We gave some examples earlier. I think what has worked for me in the past is to focus on the positive behavior that you like.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it
Yeah.
all the time. I really enjoy that good morning text. Makes me feel prioritized when I see you on a weekly basis. I'm starting to sense a little distance, and I just want to know if there's something going on that I can support you through, or we can figure out another way of operating, right? Like still coming from a very loving side.
Yeah, I think that's a really good approach. And then what they say, but also what they do after is the real sign.
Yes.
And I think the part of this question was like, I want to keep seeing this person. What should I do? I think if you have that conversation, you give them the runway to react, to step it up, to be aware that this is something you want, and they're still not doing it. Don't try to force it at that point.
No.
At that point, it's like this person showing you the reality. I don't even want to say true colors because it just might be the reality of the situation that they're no longer going to be consistent with you because they met someone else or other things are getting in their way. Whatever it is, it just is what it is. I don't even want to say it as like a trait, but they're not giving the consistent behavior that they once were.
Yeah.
And for you, consistent behavior is a must.
Yes.
So therefore, you're going to move on and find someone that will give that to you.
And honestly, we need more people to put their foot down when it comes to consistency. Their lack of consistency is probably because of all the previous people they've dated who never spoke up for themselves. And they never knew that consistency was such an important trait in a partner. Well, it is. It fucking is. Let's admit it. If you don't give that feedback and put your foot down, they're going to go out in the world and keep doing the same thing. We got to really establish our boundaries and standards here.
It's also for yourself because like I feel like I've said this before, but that became the forefront for me. It wasn't like consistency was the only quality I was looking for. Of course, still wanted to enjoy my time and be with someone that was attracted to. But if they couldn't do the bare basics of being consistent, like how can you have a relationship with that person? You can't.
You can't.
So even if I am so attracted to you and we have the best banter, but you're not consistent, it doesn't matter. Like that's the line. That's the line in the sand, the bare basics that you need to cross. And if this person is showing you that they can't do it, I don't think you have to have like ill will to them or even harvest anger. It's just they're giving you info so that you can set you free and you can find that person that will do it.
And you can read all about how Julie came upon consistency as a core value in dating in our upcoming book, How to Be Dateable, coming out in January 2025. We sprinkle the book with some personal anecdotes of how we've learned to date better throughout the years in conjunction with many other stories. I mean, we've talked to thousands of daters and we've compiled these stories into this book that's only 300 pages.
300 pages, but my mom did read the early copy in 2 days. She's a fast reader, but she said it was a very fast read.
I feel like your mom should not set the standard for how fast someone can read this. That is I'm like 300 pages in 2 days. It would probably take me a month and a half.
The point being, it's a quick read.
Yes.
We're not like a history novel. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There are no like stats for you to remember. But there is a quiz. There is a quiz inside. You don't have to study for the quiz though.
Nope.
You'll pass.
The other big part of the book that this really comes into is like this whole chapter around like where to invest your time and energy and who to invest in. This is something we hear all the time of like, should I give them more chances? Should I stay? Should I go? What should I do? And we give you a very simple framework of this only 7 things that matter. And guess what? Consistency is one of them.
Yeah. So that book comes out in January of 2025. You can pre-order now. Howtobedateable.com is where you can find your favorite retailer where you want to order this book from. And if you do this now, your future self will thank you. And also you'll be reminded of how important consistency is in dating in January.
And January feels really far away, but it's actually not at all.
It's not.
We've started freaking out because it's getting really close. And
Yeah.
like we've said, pre-orders really, really help us out. It helps get this book more widely distributed so everyone can get it and be more dateable, which actually helps you out.
Yes, you'll have more consistent daters out there.
Yeah.
So you don't have to deal with this shit
You don't
again.
have to ask this question. Awesome.
Paying it forward comes full circle. Thanks for this question. For all of you with your burning dating questions, you can email them to us, hello@dateablepodcast.com. You can DM them to us on Instagram @dateablepodcast. Or best option is to give us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts, 5 stars, s'il vous plaît. And then in the body of your review, give us a question there. Let us know what's on your mind. And if you've pre-ordered our book, definitely make a note of it so we can bump you up to the top of the list.
Love it. Great. howtobedateable.com, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.